The stars looked quiet from the bridge of the spaceship Eidolon, but deep in that silence stories slept, some forgotten, some waiting to be found. Aaron Malik stood near the viewing window, staring at the broken world below. Arcus 9. A dead planet. It had once been home to a secret human outpost, long erased from history. 200 years ago, a massive solar flare had turned it into a wasteland, or so everyone believed. "This is the place?" Aaron asked. "Yes," answered Captain Ryle, a calm woman with gray eyes. "No one's been here in 2 centuries. Be careful. The surface is unstable." Aaron nodded. He was a historian and linguist, part of the Eidolon's deep space research team. His job was to find pieces of the past and give them meaning. The landing team touched down near the ruins of what once looked like a small military base. Sandstorms had buried half the buildings. Time had done the rest. The silence here was heavy. Inside the cracked bunker, Aaron walked slowly. His scanner blinked with signs of metal nearby. He pushed aside broken tiles and dusted off a rusted panel. Underneath, he found something strange. It was a dog tag, still intact, still readable. His fingers trembled as he turned it over. It had one name etched into it: Aaron Malik. He froze. That's my name," he whispered. The others gathered around. One of the engineers laughed softly. "Maybe it belonged to someone with the same name." Aaron shook his head. "It's not just the name, the ID number, and it's the same as mine. This isn't a coincidence." Captain Ryle raised an eyebrow. "You're telling me you found your own dog tag on a planet that died before you were born?" "Yes." Back on the Eidolon, the dog tag was scanned and studied. The metal matched Earth military-grade alloys used more than 200 years ago. The ID number matched Aaron's birth record, so did the blood type. Aaron's hands felt cold. He tried to stay calm, but something inside him was stirring. This was no joke. No error. The science officer, Dr. Vale, ran a test on the dog tag to check for organic traces. The results were shocking. "Aaron, this tag has your DNA. Exact match. No differences." "That's impossible," Aaron said. "I wasn't born yet." "I'm not some time traveler," Ryle frowned. "Then what are we looking at?" They went back down the next day and searched deeper. Aaron led the way. He felt drawn to the place, like something was pulling him forward. In the ruins of a command center, he found old data drives, dusty but still functional. They brought them up to the ship and connected them to the archives. Most of the files were damaged, but a few logs had survived. The first one opened with a shaky voice. The speaker looked like a soldier. His face was worn, tired, but when Aaron saw it, he gasped. It was him. Same eyes, same voice. The log began. "Commander's log. Aaron, Malik, final day of transmission. We've lost contact with Earth, Thren sabotage suspected. If this message is found, we failed. But I hope someone remembers." The log cut off with static. Nobody spoke for a moment. Captain Ryle looked stunned. "That's your voice. That's your face. But it's dated 200 years ago." Aaron sat down, slowly. He felt dizzy. "It can't be me. I wasn't alive." "Could you be a clone?" someone asked. "Maybe. But why? Who would do that? And why would I end up back here?" They searched the other logs. Some were corrupted, but bits and pieces came through. Mentions of a war. A hostile alien force named the Thren. Secret experiments. A mission to hide something important beneath the surface. Aaron's curiosity burned like fire now. He wanted answers. That night, he had a dream. He stood in the same ruins. But the place looked new, clean. Lights worked. People walked by in uniform. He was one of them, a commander, giving orders, protecting something. A voice echoed in the dream. "Don't forget who you are." He woke up sweating. In the mirror, he stared at his reflection and whispered, "Who am I really?" Dr. Vale noticed something strange the next day. Some of the surviving notes from the ruins were handwritten. The style was odd, Curved letters, unique marks. Aaron stared at one note for a long time. "I used to write like this when I was a kid," he said. Captain Ryle blinked. "What are you saying?" "That your childhood writing matches notes written 2 centuries ago." "Yes, exactly the same. I stopped writing like this around age 12. The crew held a meeting. "We're dealing with something beyond logic," Ryle said. "Either this is a massive coincidence, or something greater is at play." Dr. Vale added, "The data logs mention an AI core, deep underground. They called it Nyx. It may hold more answers." The decision was made. They would dig. If Nyx was still there, maybe it could explain everything. The dog tag, the matching DNA, the strange dreams. As the drill team prepared, Aaron stood at the edge of the ruins, holding the dog tag in his hand. "This is my name," he said softly, "but I don't know if it's truly mine." The wind blew across the broken ground, whispering secrets from the past. A story was waiting to be uncovered, and Aaron Malik was ready to follow it, wherever it led. The drilling machines worked for hours. Below the surface of Arcus 9, a hidden structure began to appear. Thick metal walls, sealed doors, and long-forgotten symbols marked with the letters NYX. The Eidolon's crew watched closely from their monitors. No one knew what to expect. Aaron Malik stood with the ground team near the deep shaft. He wore his helmet, but his mind was elsewhere. He still held the dog tag in his pocket. Sometimes, he would grip it tightly without even noticing. He could feel something waiting down there. "Ready to descend?" asked Captain Ryle over the comm. "Yes," Aaron replied. "We're going in." The small lift took them into the darkness. As they lowered, the lights of the ancient facility slowly lit up, reacting to their presence. Power was still running through some systems. That was impossible, but real. They reached a large chamber filled with control panels, shattered chairs, and dusty screens. At the far end was a sealed vault door, marked with a strange black symbol, a circle with a line through it. Dr. Vale joined them and scanned the door. "This is it. Nyx is behind here." Aaron stepped forward. "Let me try." He placed his hand on the panel beside the door. A soft light blinked. Then, to everyone's shock, the door unlocked with a soft hiss. The room behind was cold and silent. In the center stood a tall black column, smooth like glass, glowing faintly from within. As they approached, it came alive. Lights flowed across its surface like liquid stars. A voice echoed through the room, calm, gentle, and strangely familiar. Identity confirmed. Commander Aaron Malik. "Welcome back." Aaron's heart pounded. "How do you know me?" "You activated me, Commander. 203 years ago. Memory imprint detected, full recognition match." Dr. Vale's eyes widened. "This AI, it really thinks you're the same person." "Maybe I am," Aaron whispered. They returned to the ship. With the data they found, every hour brought more strange discoveries. Inside Nyx's memory banks were fragments of the past, images, logs, and even dreams that felt like Aaron's own. Late that night, Aaron sat alone, watching a recorded log from the past. The image showed a younger version of himself, same face, same voice, speaking to the camera. "If you're seeing this, it means the cycle worked. I don't know how many lifetimes passed, but I pray that you, Aaron Malik, remember who you are. We failed to stop the Thren, but we built something they couldn't destroy, Nyx, and you. I trusted my memories to time, to you. Find the truth. Finish what we started." Aaron felt cold all over. His own eyes stared back at him from 2 centuries ago. The voice wasn't just similar, it was him. Captain Ryle walked in quietly. "I watched the same video," she said. "I don't think this is just a clone or a mistake. You really might be him. A version, a memory, maybe even a rebirth." "But how?" Aaron asked. "I was born on Earth to normal parents. I've never been here before." "What if your memories were passed through your DNA?" she asked. "What if Nyx didn't store you in a machine but inside life itself?" Aaron couldn't answer. The idea was too big, but deep inside, a part of him believed it. He had always felt different, dreams of places he'd never seen, skills he never remembered learning. Now it all made sense. Dr. Vale entered with more findings. We've translated more logs. The Thren weren't just enemies. They were hunters. They saw humans as a threat. What kind of threat? Ryle asked. Adaptation, Vale replied. They feared how fast we learned, how we spread. They attacked Arcus 9 with a false solar flare to make it look like a natural event. Aaron clenched his fist. So the whole planet was wiped out on purpose. Yes, Vale nodded. And Commander Malik, your past self, tried to stop them. He died protecting Nyx, hoping that one day you would return. The team spent days restoring more of Nyx's systems. The AI remembered everything, battle plans, old technology, even secret knowledge hidden from Earth. But one question still burned in everyone's mind. Why Aaron? Dr. Vale asked. Why store all this inside one person? Nyx answered calmly. Because he chose to. The commander believed that knowledge alone is not enough. It must be felt, lived. He wanted his future self to carry not just facts, but memories. So they would never forget the cost of failure. Aaron felt his past reaching out to him. In the dreams, he saw names, faces, people he once knew, soldiers, scientists, even a little girl who called him uncle. It hurt, but it also gave him strength. Captain Ryle gave him a simple choice. We can leave, go back to Earth, tell them what we found. Aaron shook his head. No, there's something unfinished here. I need to understand it all. Then we stay, she said. One morning, Nyx revealed a hidden chamber beneath its core. Inside was a wall of holographic names, men and women who had died defending Arcus 9. At the top was Commander Aaron Malik, last to fall. Aaron stared at it for a long time. I don't remember their voices, he said quietly. I don't remember how they laughed or what their dreams were, but I will. I have to. He touched the wall gently. I was meant to carry their story, and I will. That night he recorded his own message, a new log. This time not for himself, but for the future. This is Aaron Malik. I am not just one man. I am many lives. I don't understand everything yet, but I know this. Our story did not end. It continues in me, and I will not let it be forgotten. Outside the ship, Arcus 9 remained silent, but under its surface a spark had returned, a memory reawakened, and a name remembered. The lights of Nyx's chamber glowed brighter each day. Aaron Malik spent hours listening to old logs, watching records, and walking through silent halls once filled with voices now gone. The AI, Nyx, was slowly rebuilding its memory systems with the crew's help. Piece by piece, the story of Arcus 9 was coming back to life, and with it, so was Aaron's past. He had stopped denying it. These memories weren't dreams. They were real, echoes of a life once lived, somehow passed to him across time. He didn't know exactly how, but it didn't matter now. He had a purpose, a mission. One morning, Nyx's voice called out from the speaker above. Commander, the persistence algorithm is ready. Captain Ryle and Dr. Vale stood beside Aaron in Nyx's core chamber. The persistence algorithm was something mentioned in the logs of the original Aaron Malik. No one had fully understood what it was, until now. What does it do? Ryle asked. Nyx answered calmly. It is the final layer of memory transfer. Your mind, Commander, still holds locked memories. This algorithm will attempt to unlock them if you allow it. Aaron hesitated. Will it hurt? You may experience confusion, emotional distress, and memory overlap, but your physical body will not be harmed. Dr. Vale frowned. Are you sure about this? Once you see everything, there's no going back. Aaron nodded. I have to know. If I carry this story, I need to carry all of it. He stepped into a small pod, and the door sealed behind him. Light surrounded him as Nyx began the process. Images flashed before his eyes. A younger Aaron, his former self, standing in front of soldiers, giving orders, smiling with friends, arguing with a scientist about the risks of transferring consciousness into DNA memory strands. Then war, chaos, fire falling from the sky. The faces came next. A woman with kind eyes who always called him Eerie. A boy who saluted him and said, "I want to be brave like you." A girl who handed him a hand-drawn star map and said, "You'll come back, right?" Then the last image. Aaron standing in front of Nix, recording his final message. As explosions shook the bunker, "I hope this reaches you. You, me. Whoever you are now, just remember, don't let them erase us." Then everything went dark. Aaron woke with tears in his eyes. Captain Ryle helped him out of the pod. "You all right?" He nodded slowly. "I remember them now. All of them." He didn't speak much that day. He just sat near the wall of names, whispering them one by one, honoring each soul. Later, Nix called a private meeting with the senior crew. It displayed a map of nearby star systems. One system blinked red. "This, Sector 9 Delta. Thren presence detected, ships moving toward human settlements." The room went silent. "They're back?" Ryle asked. "Yes." They never stopped watching. They assumed Arcus 9 was gone forever, but now that my systems are active again, they may notice. Aaron stood. "We have to warn Earth." Dr. Vale agreed. "If they attack again, and we're not ready, it could be worse than last time." Ryle nodded. "We'll send a signal to the Terran Union, but it will take weeks to reach them." "I'm staying here," Aaron said firmly. Everyone turned toward him. "You sure?" Ryle asked. "Yes. Nix and I, together, we might be able to slow them down. At least hold them back until help comes." Ryle hesitated, but then placed a hand on his shoulder. "All right, but you're not doing it alone. We'll leave a support team with you." As the Eidolon prepared to launch, Aaron stood on the surface of Arcus 9, looking out over the ruins. He wasn't just a visitor anymore, this was his world, twice over. He looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Thren were coming. But this time, they wouldn't find a silent world. They would find him waiting. 2 weeks later, the Thren arrived. Sleek, dark ships emerged from hyperspace. Silent, fast, deadly. They didn't speak. They didn't warn. They just opened fire. Aaron activated Nix's old defense grid. Energy shields lit up around the ancient base. Pulse cannons returned fire. Drones swarmed the sky. The support crew worked around the clock, repairing systems and rearming old weapons. They fought like ghosts, defending their own graves. Aaron moved through the command center like he had done once before. The memories of the past guided him. He knew which buttons to press, where to aim, how to win time. One night during a short break, he looked at the dog tag in his hand. "This time," he whispered, "we finish it." Nix spoke gently. "You were never meant to fight alone." "I know," Aaron said with a tired smile, "but I don't feel alone anymore." Terran ships finally arrived. Massive, powerful. Reinforcements poured in. The Thren were outmatched, outgunned, and soon retreating. Arcus 9 stood, Aaron stood, alive. After the battle, the Terran Union sent officials to investigate. They praised the bravery of the Eidolon crew and Aaron Malik. But there was something more they couldn't explain. A man holding the same name, face, and DNA as a long-dead hero. They called it a miracle, or maybe fate. Aaron didn't care what they called it. He just knew he had done what he was meant to do. Nix was now fully restored, and declared a protected historical AI. The ruins of Arcus 9 were marked as a sacred site, the world that remembered. One evening, as the sun set across the dusty sky, Aaron stood alone again near the wall of names. He placed the dog tag beside the name at the top, Commander Aaron Malik. Then he smiled. "This is my name," he said, "because I chose to carry it, and I always will." The wind blew gently, almost like a whisper of approval. The past was no longer lost. The story would live on. The battle was over, but peace never truly stays. After the Thren retreated from Arcus 9, the Terran Union sent teams of scientists and engineers. They were amazed by what they saw. Ancient technology still working after 2 centuries. An AI that remembered a world thought lost and one man at the center of it all. Aaron Malik. He had become a living mystery. News of him spread across the stars. Some called him a clone. Others believed he was a chosen one. A few even feared him, whispering that no one should hold memories of the dead. But Aaron didn't care about stories. He only cared about truth. He spent his days inside Nyx's central chamber, working with Dr. Vale and a new Terran science team. They were decoding the final layers of memory from the original Aaron Malik's data. "Look at this," Vale said one day, pointing to a glowing screen. "These files, they're not just logs. They're genetic patterns, encoded instructions." Aaron leaned closer. "Instructions for what?" "For creating people," she said quietly. "Memory seeds, a blueprint for a future generation. You mean there could be more like me?" Vale nodded slowly. "Possibly, maybe hundreds, maybe just one. But if these patterns were ever activated, someone would carry his legacy." Aaron sat back, thoughtful. He had always wondered why he was different even as a child, dreaming of battles, hearing voices in the stars, learning things without knowing how. Now he had the answer. He wasn't a copy. He was a continuation. As the days passed, a deeper signal came from Nyx's core. Something buried even deeper than memory. Something locked behind high security. Nyx's voice echoed in the chamber. "Commander, your full access has been restored. Shall I open the final vault?" Aaron nodded. "Yes, let's finish this." A section of the wall slid open, revealing a staircase that led down into darkness. Only Aaron was allowed to enter. The others watched as he disappeared into the deep ancient part of Nyx no one had seen in 2 centuries. The staircase ended at a quiet, circular chamber. The walls were lined with stasis pods, glass chambers filled with dim blue light. Inside, each one lay a sleeping person. Aaron's breath caught in his throat. They looked just like him. Men and women, all with traces of the same face, the same eyes, the same DNA. Some older, some younger, some barely grown, but all part of him. All fragments of the one who came before. A soft screen lit up in front of him. "Welcome, Aaron. If you are reading this, then I have failed. Or succeeded. I'm not sure which. But I knew I could not let our story end. These are the seeds. Each one carries part of our memory, part of our soul. They are not soldiers. They are hope." It was his own voice again, from the past. "Use them only if needed. Let them sleep if peace survives. But if the dark returns, let the story continue. One name, many lives." Aaron stood still for a long time. Then he turned off the screen. He didn't activate the pods. Not yet. He walked back up in silence where Dr. Vale was waiting. "What did you find?" she asked gently. "People," he replied. "Like me. Sleeping. Waiting." Vale looked surprised. "You didn't wake them?" "No," Aaron said. "They're not needed yet. For now, one name is enough." Months passed. Arcus 9 became more than ruins. With help from Earth, it turned into a research base and memory archive. Pilgrims came to walk its quiet halls. Students came to learn its history. It became a place of remembrance and warning. But something deeper was changing too. Aaron began to dream again, not of war or the past, but of something new. A distant voice calling, across time, a voice he didn't recognize. One night he followed that voice in a dream, walking across the burning fields of a planet he didn't know. In the sky, a strange shape floated, huge, round, and glowing. When he woke, Nix was already speaking. Commander. A new signal has been detected. Not Thren, not human, unknown. He rose quickly. Where? Outer system. Near the edge of explored space. Dr. Vale entered the room already dressed. I saw it too, the signal. It's ancient, but not like Nix. It feels alive. Captain Rael, now stationed full-time, on Arcus 9, called an emergency meeting. This might be first contact with something beyond either side, she said. We need to investigate, but we need to be careful. Aaron agreed. Let me go, I have a feeling about this. Rael looked into his eyes. She knew better than to argue with a man who had already lived 2 lives. All right, she said. But take a team, and come back. The ship Argent Dawn left orbit a week later with Aaron on board. As they approached the edge of the system, the signal grew louder, not in sound, but in emotion. Aaron felt it more than heard it. A gentle pull, a calling. They arrived at an ancient satellite floating in the dark. It was shaped like a ring, broken in some parts but still sending out that strange pulse. Inside they found something shocking. Not technology, not weapons, but music. The satellite was playing a simple melody on repeat. Soft, haunting, beautiful. Aaron sat in silence listening. Then, a voice. You remembered? Aaron turned, but no one was there. You carried the name. You passed the trial. The cycle can end. Aaron closed his eyes. He didn't understand all the words, but his heart knew what the voice meant. The melody was from the girl in the memory, the one who gave him the star map and said, "You'll come back, right?" And he had. After 200 years, across death and war and silence, he had come back. They returned to Arcus 9 with the recording of the melody. Nix processed the music and found hidden data inside, patterns of peace, healing, and renewal. Knowledge not of war, but of rebuilding. And so the purpose of the seeds became clear. Not to fight, but to restore, to remember, to rebuild what was lost. Aaron stood once more at the wall of names. His own dog tag now hung in a glass case nearby. This is my name, he said once more, but softer now. And it is enough. But it will not end with me. Behind him the seeds slept in their pods, waiting. For the right time. Not to destroy, but to create. The air on Arcus 9 was still, like a breath held by the planet itself. Aaron Malik stood in the central dome of the memory vault. In front of him were the stasis pods, the seeds. They had slept for centuries, and he had guarded their sleep like a silent promise. But today, the time had come to wake them. The message from the ring-shaped satellite was clear. The cycle can end, but it could only end with those who still remembered. Nix's voice spoke gently. Commander, are you sure you wish to begin activation? Aaron nodded once. Yes, it's time. One by one, the lights on the pods changed from blue to green. Hisses of released gas filled the air. The pods opened slowly and the seeds began to stir. A young woman was the first to open her eyes. She blinked at the ceiling, then turned her gaze to Aaron. Who are you? She asked softly. He gave her a small smile. My name is Aaron Malik, and, in a way, so is yours. The seeds were confused at first. They remembered flashes of lives they had never lived, battlefields, voices, starlight, music. They shared fragments of the same past, but none of them truly knew what it meant. Dr. Vale led their orientation. Captain Rael spoke with them every day. Aaron visited often, talking with each seed, helping them find their place. He didn't act as their commander. He didn't give them orders. He listened. I'm not here to shape your path, he told them one night under the stars. I'm only here to tell you the story. After that, it's yours to carry. One of the younger seeds, a boy named Leo, raised his hand. Are we copies of you? Aaron shook his head. No, you're not me. You're not him. You're something new. You're The ones who remember, but also the ones who choose. They listened to him, not because he was a legend, but because he understood something most people didn't: how to remember without being trapped by the past. Months passed. The seeds learned fast. Some took to science, others to art. A few joined. The restoration teams rebuilding the ruins of Arcus 9. The planet, once a grave, was slowly becoming a garden. Nyx, too, changed. She began speaking not just to Aaron, but to the seeds. Her voice softened. Her tone warmed. She played music from old memory logs. One day she played the melody from the ring satellite. The seeds paused in their work and listened in silence. "Where did this come from?" asked a girl named Kale. Aaron told them the story. The melody, the satellite, the voice that said, "You remembered." Kale touched the glass wall, her eyes far away. "I think it was waiting for us." Then one morning, a message came from Earth. A large group of settlers had gone missing on a distant moon called Ralayan. No distress signals, no signs of life, just silence. The Terran Union asked Arcus 9 for help. "We need someone who understands ancient systems," the message said. "Someone with the experience and the memory." Aaron sat in the council room with Ryle and Vale. "I'll go," he said, but Ryle shook her head. "No, you've done enough. This isn't just your story anymore." Aaron looked at her confused. "Doctor," Vale smiled. "Let the seeds go." It was true. They were ready, strong, smart, and balanced. They remembered the pain of the past, but they didn't carry its anger. They carried hope. The first team of seeds, Kale, Leo, and 2 others, volunteered for the mission. They called themselves the Echoes, not as a title of war but of memory. Before they left, Aaron gave them something small, a copy of his dog tag. "Not because you belong to me," he said, "but because you carry this name now, and this name means we don't forget." The mission to Ralayan brought new discovery. The settlers weren't dead. They had found an ancient Thren vault and accidentally activated a sleep protocol. The seeds, with their shared knowledge of the past, helped wake them safely. No one was harmed. But more importantly, something strange was found in the vault. A Thren archive. And inside that archive, messages, stories, memories. The Thren had recorded the war, just like humans did. They had mourned their dead, questioned their leaders, and feared the silence that followed. Aaron read every line. "They weren't just enemies," he whispered. "They were trying to survive too." When the seeds returned, they brought the archive with them. A translator AI helped decode the messages, and slowly the people of Arcus 9 learned something new. The Thren had not destroyed Arcus 9 out of hatred. They had feared what humans were becoming, creatures who could live forever through memory. But now the humans who rose from memory were not soldiers. They were bridges. Years passed. The galaxy changed. Aaron Malik stepped away from leadership. He lived in a quiet home near the lake on Arcus 9, surrounded by green plants and open skies. He still walked the halls sometimes, still talked to Nyx, still touched the dog tag in the case now and then. One morning, a young girl came to visit him. She was a seed, newly awakened. "My name is Lyra," she said. "They told me to come see you." Aaron nodded and motioned for her to sit. "Do you know why you're here?" he asked. She shrugged. "To remember?" He smiled. "Yes, but also to choose." He handed her something, a copy of the dog tag. "It's just a name," he said, "but it carries weight. When someone holds it, they carry us all." Lyra looked at it closely. "What if I don't want to be a hero?" "Then don't be," Aaron said kindly. "Be honest, be curious, be kind. That's enough. That's what we forgot last time." She nodded. She understood more than he expected. When she left, Aaron looked out across the valley. The planet that had once died was alive again. Not because of weapons, not because of war, but because of memory. And when The stars looked down on Arcus 9. They saw not a world of ghosts, but a world of echoes, walking, learning, healing, and one name that lived in many hearts. "This is my name," he had said once, holding a dog tag, and now others said it too, not because they had to, but because they chose to remember. The end.